Have you ever wondered what the mind of a top modern professional really looks like on the inside? It's this incredible, sometimes weird mix of super deep technical skills, a real curiosity about the world, and, of course, their own personal passions. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and deconstruct one of these blueprints, piece by piece, to see how it all fits together. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the big mystery, then dive into the deep technical core. After that, we'll look at the bigger picture, the economics and society that give it all context. Then we'll explore the raw curiosity that fuels it, and finally, the art and culture that makes this person, well, human. And stick around, because at the end, we'll talk about how this all applies to you. Okay, just look at that subtitle, From Kubernetes to Communism. At first glance, that just sounds random, right? How on earth do you connect a cutting-edge cloud technology with a century-old political theory? It really does feel like a puzzle, but trust me, there's a hidden logic here, and we're about to put the pieces together. Which brings us to the central question of this whole explainer. What is the thread that ties together something like generative AI, a specific regional development model from India, the mind-bending world of quantum physics, and neoliberalism? This isn't just a random assortment of Wikipedia pages. No, this is a deliberately constructed intellectual blueprint. And we're going to figure out how it's built. So where do we start? Well, any strong blueprint has to start with a solid foundation. You need one area where you go deep, a really deep vertical of expertise. For the mind we're looking at, that core is a powerful idea from the tech world called elastic engineering. So what in the world is elastic engineering? Well, think of it like this. Instead of building something out of a single rigid block of stone, you're building it with Legos. It's all about using a whole bunch of flexible, interchangeable parts to create systems that can stretch, shrink, and adapt to whatever you throw at them. It's the perfect anchor in today's constantly shifting tech landscape. And just look at the toolkit involved here. This isn't about knowing just one thing. It's a whole ecosystem of buzzwords that actually mean something. You've got AI, microservices, blockchain, zero trust security, the whole shebang. This right here is what a deep, modern technical expertise looks like today. It's broad and it's deep. And here's the beautiful part. It's not just a messy toolbox. It's organized. You can see how all that knowledge fits into 4 key pillars: AI, cloud-native apps, blockchain, and security. Each one of these is its own universe, from generative AI and LLMs all the way over to things like zero-trust networks. This is structured, comprehensive knowledge. Okay, so you've got the deep technical how, but knowing how to build stuff is only half the battle. To be truly effective, you absolutely have to understand the why. Technology doesn't just exist in the lab. It operates out there in the real world, in this complex web of economics and society. So let's zoom out and explore that context. And this is where that blueprint starts to get really interesting, expanding way beyond just tech. You can see a real fascination with the big picture, right? The future of a massive economy like India, how its education system works, and the huge competing economic ideas that basically run our world. This context is what gives the technical work its meaning. It answers the why. And the key point here, the really crucial thing, is the drive to understand both sides of the coin. We're looking at everything from collective systems like socialism and communism to individualist ones like neoliberalism. The goal here isn't to pick a team. It's to understand the entire playing field, to grasp the fundamental ideas that shape how different societies work. All right, so from the systems that run our society, we're about to zoom out again, like way out. We're going to the fundamental laws that govern reality itself. This next layer of the blueprint isn't about work or society. It's about a pure, unadulterated curiosity for the building blocks of everything. Just look at this list for a second. We're talking about astrophysics and quantum physics, the biggest scales and the smallest scales imaginable, and then evolutionary biology and neuroscience, the very nature of life and thought. This is all about exploring first principles, the basic rules that make everything else in the universe possible.
And I just love this connection. There's a real poetry to it, isn't there? The day job is all about building these incredibly complex, man-made systems in the cloud. But the underlying passion is about understanding the most fundamental natural system of all, the entire cosmos.
So we've covered the professional, the societal, and the scientific, but now we get to the final, and maybe the most important layer of all, the personal one. This is where all that expertise and all that curiosity connects with who you are, your identity, your passions, your culture. And remember that big picture interest in economics? Here's where it becomes deeply personal.
There's a specific focus on the Kerala model of development, which connects right back to this person's roots in what they call God's own country. It's about taking the time to truly understand where you come from.
And then, bam, we see a whole other side. This is so cool. Beyond all the code and physics and economics, there's this vibrant, creative passion, an adventure into painting and writing stories. This is the artist, the humanist side of a deeply technical mind, and it's absolutely essential. And finally, the last piece of the puzzle, a real connection to the natural world. Exploring nature, hunting with a camera, walking in the woods. This really rounds out the entire picture, doesn't it? It shows someone who's not just a thinker or an engineer, but a person who's deeply engaged with the living, breathing world around them. So, what do we get when we put all these pieces together? We get this incredible blueprint for what people call a T-shaped professional. Think about it. You have the deep vertical bar of expertise, and then this wide horizontal bar of broad knowledge, curiosity, and passion. In a world that's changing so fast, this isn't just a nice little model. It's becoming absolutely essential for anyone who wants to innovate and adapt. The big takeaway here is that you can actually build this for yourself. It's a 4-step process. First, build your core. Get really, really good at something. Second, understand the context. Learn about the world your work lives in. Third, and this is a big one, stay curious. Ask the big questions. And finally, embrace your passions. Your art, your culture, your hobbies. That's the stuff that makes your blueprint uniquely yours. And that really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. We just spent this whole time deconstructing one person's fascinating professional blueprint. So now it's your turn. What connects your skills, your interests, and your passions? What does your blueprint look like?